Hello, everybody. We are on time today. Go me. Welcome to the Cellar Geek podcast, where I break things, like my microphone right off the bat. That's great. Um, Podcast show where I talk about things that interest me about wines, and today is going to be about Long Meadow Ranch. Um, I feel like I just need to hold this at this point. I can't fix this. So here we go. Okay. It's been a long day. I have been in a wine cellar all day, yesterday as well. Anyway, sorry, I immediately broke my microphone. Anyways, it still works. I'm just going to hold it the whole time. Welcome to the show. Um, So this is a podcast where I talk about things about wine and wine adjacent that interest me, in hopes that maybe it will bring an interest to you and you guys will get interested in it. Like I said, I've been in a wine cellar all day. That's what I do normally. I manage people's wine collections. You can't see behind the camera, but there are one, two, three, four, like 10 cases of wine behind this camera that got delivered to my house for one of my clients, that I got wines for. So it's been a crazy day. I'm super tired. The Palm Song, who some of you can see right here, this fur ball that's a little bit off camera, she has been in the wine cellar with me today because this particular client allows me to bring my dog with me, which is amazing. And I'm thoroughly grateful for that. But she is exhausted. So she's been in a wine cellar all day, following me around, and she immediately is like passed out. So don't expect her to be communicating very much. Let's get into some wine, shall we? Today we're going to be talking about Long Meadow Ranch. If anybody wants to tell me if this sounds funny because I'm having to hold the microphone, just let me know. I'm trying not to yell because I feel like it's really close to my face. Long Meadow Ranch. So Long Meadow Ranch is a winery that I personally find in a lot of my wine cellars. Um, it does tend to be, they're more of their reserve line and their EJ Church line. Um, I don't remember where I got this Sauvignon Blanc. I might have actually just picked it up because I was curious about the winery that I always see in my wine cellars. I have not personally ever. Why do you always say that? Why do you say I have not personally tasted this wine? You could just take out the personally. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe that's a Southern thing and it's just like stuck in my brain. That's how you talk. Anyways, I haven't had any of their wines before, so I thought, why not? It's a Sauvignon Blanc. It's going to be an easy drink. And I've had a long day and my body hurts and I'm tired. There's no smellogram in this, but if there was, you'd be smelling fried chicken getting warmed up in my oven right now because I'm going to go to town on some fried chicken when I get done with this podcast and then conk out. So let's get into it because I need a drink. I don't know about you guys. Here is the bottle. It's really nice and clean labels, really simple. Their LMR for Long Meadow Ranch. Now, their EJ Church is not clean and simple. It's a little bit more, and rightly so, it looks more dated, I guess. I'm going to get into the story of who EG Church is, but let's start this off. This is the Sauvignon Blanc. It comes at 13% alcohol by volume, so it is going to be light. That is on the very light side. 2019. Listen, these guys are made to drink young. I probably kept on to it for too long, but it is a screw cap, so it's going to be nice and fresh. Fresh cracks. There we go. That woke the pup up a little bit. Not enough for her to lift her head, just enough for her to open one eye. Like I'm disturbing her. Here we go. Sorry for anybody viewing this. This is not a very good view because I'm having to hold this microphone and move around. Here we go. Oh, smells good. Very refreshing, light, just like a Sauvignon Blanc out of California should be. Um, Poolside, porch, put it in one of your insulated cups to keep it nice and cold. Sauvignon Blanc should be drank pretty cold, like at least California ones. Now, if you dip into the Loire Valley in France and you do more of a even like a Sancerre, I would do a little bit not super cold on Sancerre because it's a lot more depth. Also, Puy Fumé could not go super cold. It just has more depth and flavor. But this kind of Sauvignon Blanc, Marlborough out of New Zealand, for example, some of these other Sauvignon Blancs in different countries are made to be drank young, cold, crisp, enjoyed, drank fast. Like, it sounds terrible. Maybe it's just me drinking fast. Mm, it's lovely. It's I feel like a little like flowery, like white flowers. I don't taste it to be extremely herbaceous. It's not very grassy, but it's just nice and clean and crisp. Some Sauvignon Blancs that I taste have like a weird film in your mouth, like in the back, like in the root of your mouth. This one doesn't have that at all. It's really clean. Yeah, that's lovely. That's gonna go down really quick tonight. Okay, so let's get into it. I have some notes here to kind of keep me on track so I don't get off track. Um, let's talk about Sauvignon Blanc first of all, the grape varietal. So I mentioned some a minute ago, Sancerre and Puy Fumé. So those are both Sauvignon Blancs, but those are the regions in France. So in France, you're not going to have wines that say, Cabernet Sauvignon blend. It's gonna be labeled as Bordeaux. You're not gonna have a bottle that says Pinot Noir coming out of France. It's gonna say Burgundy. It's gonna always gonna say the regions of France, and then you're just supposed to know what it is. So if you ever get a bottle of wine that says Sancerre or Puy Fumé from France, that is a Sauvignon Blanc. Now, it does not taste like you would a New Zealand super sharp, razor cut, crisp Sauvignon Blanc. It tastes differently, but it's the same grape. So you've got Sancerre, Puy Fumé, and then also Fumé Blanc out of California is Sauvignon Blanc. But really interesting, I found out that Robert Mondavi renamed Sauvignon Blanc in the 1980s to Fumé Blanc, and the rate that it was purchased like skyrocketed. It became super popular. People were like, "Ooh, this new wine called Fumé Blanc. It's so delicious." And it's like, no, this is the same stuff you're drinking. It's Sauvignon Blanc. It's just renamed. So I found that genius. I never knew that. Also, another Sauvignon Blanc would be a Bordeaux Blanc. So a lot of times Bordeaux brands, they will come out with their white wine and it's just a Blanc. So it's more affordable on higher end Bordeaux houses. I mainly see it in higher end Bordeaux houses when they make them, but it's a Sauvignon Blanc. So a Bordeaux Blanc is going to be Sauvignon Blanc. So that's just kind of a little rundown. Now, Sauvignon Blancs are from all over. I was reading about how there's some really fantastic ones coming out of Slovenia. I've said on here before, I am a fan of Slovenian wines, but I have not personally saw or purchased or tasted Sauvignon Blanc out of Slovenia. I think I've had Sauvignon Blanc out of South Africa, delicious. And I just read about some other like obscure countries that make Sauvignon Blanc. I haven't seen it personally, but listen, if I did, I would have it because if I see something weird and out of the ordinary in a wine shop, I buy it. So that's just saying that I haven't come across it yet. But when I do, I will be drinking that for sure. So Sauvignon Blanc is all over the place. Also, I found really kind of funny the way it was written, but it said it was genetically the parent of Cabernet Sauvignon. So I wonder if it was the mom or the dad of that relationship that birthed Cabernet Sauvignon. But it said it was the parent genetically. Found that interesting. Okay, so LMR or Long Meadow Ranch. There is some cool story here on the history of Long Meadow Ranch. So it started all out in the 1872. So you have the Civil War that had ended, and President Ulysses S. Grant was the president, I'm guessing. But he ended up granting a what was called a uh, patent ranch over to E.J. Church due to him being in the Civil War to encourage him to move out to the West. I tried to look up E.J. Church to see what possible position or accomplishments he could have had in the Civil War for him to be granted such an amazing thing, and I could not find a thing on him. Honestly, this entire story of Long Meadow Ranch, according to their website, I could not get any deeper into the story because I tried to look up different portions that they mentioned in their bio and I couldn't find anything else. That's not pointing a finger saying it's not true by any means. There's a lot of history that is just not doesn't have articles written about it, but I'm just saying I don't have anything further into it. I tried and I couldn't find anything else. So this guy named Elliot Joseph Church fought in the Civil War. Which side? Don't know. But it said that Ulysses S. Grant granted him a patent ranch, which is also something I'd never heard of. It's basically like free land he gave him for an accomplishment that is unknown. But he was given 640 acres in the Mayacamas Mountains. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry. I know that word. I'm terrible at pronouncing stuff. But he was gifted that. I don't know about you, but 640 acres is a lot of freaking land. It was gifted to him to farm. So that is exactly what he did. He planted grapes. He actually made an apple orchard. If you listen to one of my past podcasts about cider, apple cider was huge in the United States at some point in our history. Pre-prohibition, everybody was drinking apple cider. Like you went to somebody's house, apple cider was being offered, the alcoholic kind. Now we say hard cider, but pre-prohibition, apple cider was just that. It was the hard cider. It was alcoholic. It was fermented. Now we have a kind that's like super sweet and like has cinnamon and stuff, and you drink it in fall. But at that time, it was just called apple cider with the alcohol. It was fermented. So it's no surprise to have heard that E.J. Church had an apple orchard on there because cider was so popular in the United States. Everybody was drinking it. Hey, Natalie, how are you tonight? Um, so he had grapes. Also, another thing that he planted was olives, which is amazing. Now, Long Meadow Ranch makes olive oil. We'll get into that. It's fast forward, it's pretty pricey. Anyways, he also had olives, and so he would farm the grapes, the olives, the apples. I believe I also read goat cheese, and he would do, they didn't have a lot of cars back then, so it was a horse-drawn carriage. Like he would cart all of his goods to the market into town and sell it. Just sounds really cool. So at that time, a little recap for Natalie here. So at that time, E.J. Church of Long Meadow Ranch, of what we know it's called now, was gifted 640 acres of land from President Ulysses S. Grant for fighting in the Civil War. Could not tell you any more than that. Couldn't find anything. Couldn't find out what he did. Did he lose a limb? Did he save somebody? I have no idea. But I feel like this guy had to do something great in order to get that much land, like as a gift. So anyway, so he got that land, went out there, started farming it. He did that up to like death, to his old age. Like he worked that land his entire life. Now his descendants ended up selling the land around the time of Prohibition in 1920. Makes sense. I mean, it was probably really hard times for the United States. So they sold it, and they sold it to a couple in San Francisco who used it as a retreat. Also, I'm telling you, I tried to research it, could not find out who that couple was. Because I'm wondering, first off, I'm wondering, what do you do for a living in 1920 in San Francisco to be able to afford to buy 640 acres of land? That's my first question. Second one is, how does this grant situation work? That's also something I couldn't pick up at all. Patent Ranch, like I couldn't, there was no Wikipedia on that. I couldn't figure out exactly what that entails. The best thing I could find was something about being able to gift land for accomplishments. Like a president can gift land for accomplishments, which, yeah, I don't think that happens anymore. Everybody just owns the land now. There's no like free land sitting around. But yeah, I don't know. It's just freaking crazy. I can't get over the fact somebody was gifted 640 acres. That's so wild. So, anyways, I have no idea how much the land was sold for in 1920 to this San Francisco couple as a retreat. All I do know, and like I said before, this is purely off of the Long Meadow Ranch website on the history. I could not corroborate anything that they wrote on there. I couldn't dig into anything more in history, the things that they mentioned. And that's not to say that it's not true. There's a lot of things in history that are just so small. There's just not articles written about it. So I don't have anything else to add on to it besides what they said. So the couple bought it in Prohibition 1920 times. I guess they used it as a retreat. And then it said that it sat there for 75 years, completely unattended. The forest took over the land. There was no wines being made. There was nothing being cultivated. It was just like a jungle out there, apparently, for 75 years. Then this family swooped in, the Hall family, and bought it up and fixed it. Also, there was a mention of a winery existing there before. It said operated until 1894. So I don't know. I guess it was operated while the E.J. Church family owned it. I don't know if that was specifically E.J. Church that owned it. And also it had a weird name. They said the name of it was Hassenmeyer Winery. It's not very catchy. Hassenmeyer Winery, kind of weird. So it said on there that a winery existed and operated until 1894. For an odd name like that, I couldn't find anything about it. So anyway, so this is something actually I didn't write down because I just read all into it. But this family, the Hall family, bought this property up in the 1990s. I read up on the guy because I thought, what does this guy do? I think his name was Ted Hall. What does this guy do? There's lots of pictures on the webpage. And so I read through his biography, and I don't know about you guys, but if I read somebody's biography and it starts to say, drank a little bit too much wine. It starts to say COO, CEO, founder, director of, like those kind of words of several different companies, you're successful. I don't know. That's kind of how I mark it up. So I feel like this guy has done really well in his life. He went to college for entrepreneurship. One of the things I read was really interesting. He started up a company that does IVF for cows, so artificial insemination for cows. It's talked about a lot of benefits with it. And a lot of the things that he was CEO, COO, director, all these things were food related, was farming related. Almost all of it, if I can remember correctly, almost everything I read was somehow related to it. And that really is amazing because I mean, that directly ties into what he's doing now. So he bought this property and then he made it like a farm. So there's a whole section of Long Meadow Ranch that says it's farmstead. And that's what they do. It's like a farm. They not only have a winery, they have a restaurant. Obviously, they have a venue, wedding venue, corporate events venue. They have restaurants. Let's see, they have a farmstead restaurant, a garden lounge and cafe. You can shop their pantry that has their Bloody Mary mix, hot sauce, finishing salt, bacon. Who doesn't love bacon? Coffee and barbecue sauce. And then also you can shop their olive oils. They have different ones. I was reading about it. So when the Hall family took over the property, sorry if I'm talking really loud. I'm not judging this distance very well while holding this. But so when the Hall family took over the property, the original olive trees that were planted had been overran by the forest. So they went in and basically like saved these olive plants from invasion. And then they also planted new olive trees of different varieties, which I didn't even know they're different varieties. So I was reading about it. So there's olive oil you can buy that is from the original, the OG olive trees from like pre-prohibition, which sounds pretty dope to me. And then there's other ones you can buy that's of the newer varietals that have been planted there. But just to give you an idea of the price, 375 milliliters. That's the size of a half bottle of wine. I feel like my personal olive oil container is heavier than a half bottle, like has more volume. Anyways, 375 milliliters is $45. I know that's a lot. I'm also sort of tempted because I feel like I've never had olive oil made from pre-prohibition olive trees. Sounds pretty cool, but it is pricey. But one thing that I really liked was their pantry options. That's a really great thing to get. Like if you're visiting this winery and you're experiencing it, those are like cool things to pick up, like for gifts or to bring back and use in your home that remind you of your trip. So I felt like they really picked good items for that. It wasn't overbearing. Now this was online, so obviously in person, if you go there, they may have a much larger selection, but online that's what they're offering, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that was a really good solid selection. It had me intrigued. The pricing was okay. The olive oil's a bit pricey. The bacon, I mean, I don't know, I'm really frugal, so I'm half Chinese. That makes me like really frugal. So I get my bacon at like Costco. So it's really hard for me to like go, oh, this bacon's gonna be so exponentially better than Costco bacon. And I'm gonna spend like 5 times more for it. It's really difficult for me to wrap my head around that. But the olive oil thing, I am tempted on. I am really tempted on trying the olive oil. Mm. So this dude named EJ Church, Elliot Joseph Church. So he was a guy that was gifted this land, 640 acres. The Hall family has paid homage or homage to this guy. And so their higher end wines, I think that also partially, or if not all, are from the original grapes that were planted. Honestly, I don't think that original because I was reading about the grapes that were planted and I'd never even heard of them before, the varietals. But they do have a higher end wine that they sell, reds. So like a Sangiovese, a Cabernet Sauvignon, and it says it's EJ Church wines. Those are ones that I see in my cellar, and I see the LMR ones as well. But it's pretty cool that they, do a nod to them with their wines, which is cool because I think the story is really neat. So he was gifted 640 acres. Now, present day, the Hall family runs 2,500 acres of land. So that covers the grapes, the vineyards, the venues. So you have this whole area. I was looking at the pictures online. It looks magnificent. I mean, the farmstead. I mean, I want to immediately. I wanted to book a trip and go there. I went like, hey, can we go there for like the weekend? Do a wine tour and go to the farmstead restaurant and eat because their menu looked really good for dinner. It wasn't like overly complicated menu, it's pretty simple, but it had some like really yummy stuff on there. I was like, I want to go eat there right now. Just keep reminding yourself, Magnolia, you have fried chicken in the oven. to eat after this podcast. I'm so hungry. So, anyways, the pictures are beautiful online. Now, they have a really cool story. I like that they're paying a nod to history of the land by naming some of their higher end wines EJ Church. I think that's really cool. I don't know if everybody who buys that wine realizes the history that's attached to that name, but I think that's personally really cool. And those are the kind of things that I want to point out to you guys here on the podcast, things you might not, realize. That I just think it's cool facts, cool wine facts. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I really thought digging into it that I was going to find more on the story, but like I said, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find out what EJ Church did in the Civil War to be so amazing that he was gifted 640 acres from the President of the United States, President Ulysses S. Grant. No idea what this dude did, but he just got it. No idea why they chose such a weird name for a winery, either him or his descendants, of a winery named Hassenmeyer Winery. Such a weird name out of California. Does it sound German? Hassenmeyer? I don't know. It definitely doesn't sound American. Hassenmeyer. It's really weird. Couldn't find anything on that. Couldn't find really anything on the definition of what a patent ranch is on this gifting of land to farm. I was able to obviously find some stuff out on the Hall family due to the biography on the page. Probably if I dug in a little bit more to Ted Hall, I could find out more information. But like I said, once I start seeing COO and CEO and director of and all those things of these companies that were mainly food related in some way, fashion, or form, he's just a very successful guy, entrepreneur. He's just had a really good run. He looks like a cool dude. All the pictures online made him look really, really happy. Seems like a cool guy. I would drink some wine with him. Would I get this Sauvignon Blanc again? It retails for about $30. On their website, it's $32. I think it was a younger vintage than the one I have. I have a 2019, but I'm sure it's basically about the same price. Probably not, honestly. And it's nothing against the wine, but I just personally typically do not drink Sauvignon Blancs unless they're from France or a weird area. I'm not that person that gravitates towards that varietal in general. Like I said, unless it's France, I do enjoy a Sancerre. It's a great lunch wine, or a Pouilly-Fumé. Yeah, Pouilly-Fumé. I'm trying to say Pouilly-Fusé, but Pouilly-Fumé. Lunchtime, arugula salad. Calamari. Oh, it'd be delicious with calamari. The Sauvignon Blanc with the lemon on top of the calamari. Oh, it'd just be delicious. Maybe some hard cheeses, like a hard goat's cheese or sheep's cheese, something dry, would be delicious. What else would it be good with? Any kind of cheese, like melted cheese, like a cheese dip, I would go for that. It'd be really good. But definitely a good lunch wine. Also, because it's a little bit lower in alcohol, so you're not getting totally tanked at lunch if you're going for like a lunch date or something. But yeah, it's delicious. Oh, hey, Haley. Oh, food. Yes, you popped in as I'm talking about pairing wine with food. You would like subconsciously pop in while I'm talking about food. So yes, I was talking about how Sauvignon Blanc pairs with foods. But in general, though, I don't personally purchase. Oh God, sorry. Hold on, just hold on a minute. My dog's getting sick. Oh, so no, Zoe. Zoe, no, don't do it. Oh no, Zoe. Oh, baby. Go there. Go there. No, not there. Here, go here. There you go. Okay, how you feeling? It all looks absolutely terrible. How you feeling? Good? Okay. Okay. Are you getting sick again? Don't get sick again. Okay. Yes, my dog's getting sick. She's not feeling well. I gave her a pain pill before the podcast, obviously. Oh no, Zoe, I know. Don't do it. The noises you probably heard as I was running away. So before I have to shampoo the carpet here after this. So much for fried chicken right after this ends. So in general, Zoe, oh God, Zoe, don't do it. Zoe, don't. Okay, in general, I do not buy Sauvignon Blanc out of California, New Zealand. Like that's just not my jam. That's super light and crisp. I like a little bit more oomph to my wines, my white wines. I don't mind a crisp and racy white wine. I love Italian whites, but tons of people enjoy this type of body of a wine, and I'm not mad at it. This is delicious. If you like a Sauvignon Blanc and you like it to be light and crisp, this one I would definitely say you should buy it. It's delicious. It's just not something I typically consume, even though I'm definitely going to drink all this. Yes, it was Dolby surround sound. You hear me running around yelling. It's so fun. Okay. Well, that's an eventful podcast for you. So I'm gonna let you guys go because I have to shampoo carpet now. And she yeah, she's still not doing good. Okay. I'm a big Sauvignon Blanc fan. It sounds great. You are not. Are you a big Sauvignon Blanc fan? I think you like I think you like French Sauvignon Blanc, like I mentioned, Sancerre and Puy Fumé. I know you like those. I am going to enjoy the wine because I've been working really hard in the cellar, and you would know this, Haley, best friend, if you listen to all the voice messages that I send you. But I know I send you a whole lot, so you probably don't listen to them anymore. But yeah, I'm very sore. Send me messages. I know I'm right. I know you like a Sancerre and a Puy Fumé. I've turned you on to the French. But yeah, guys, I will see y'all next week. I am very sore, tired from working in a cellar for 2 days, a lot of hard work. And now my dog's sick and I have to shampoo the carpet, and this is just like a lot I wasn't planning on tonight. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna drink this wine like it's going out of style. Thank you very much, Meadow Ranch. I appreciate it, in the Hall family. And I'm gonna eat my fried chicken after this. So, and tend to my poor puppy dog. My poor Pom Som is sick, and she just needs cuddles and to be cared for. Okay. Well, this was not how I was expecting to end this podcast by me running around with my dog throwing up all over the place. So I'm going to let y'all go because this is no longer very entertaining. And yeah, tune in next week. I don't know what the topic is yet. Maybe I'll get on top of it and have it early, or maybe I'll be like today and just think of something right before I do it. So we'll see. If anybody cares about the foot update, my foot's doing good. The top part still is not quite all the way healed enough to be able to sustain silicone scar tape. But it is doing better. I mean, obviously I was in the cellar today running around doing stuff, lifting and everything. But it definitely, I was way more physical the last 2 days than I have been during this entire month span of being able to wear a shoe. And even though I wasn't wearing a regular shoe, I was wearing just like a Sanuk, so it didn't rub that top part. But yeah, running around and doing all that physical activity really highlighted, one, how incredibly out of shape that I got in the 2 months of not really being able to walk that much. shocker, when you don't really move around, you get really weak. So it really highlighted that. And also some new pains in my foot on getting up from the floor, up and down, like lifting stuff and moving around. It was like, oh my gosh, my foot really hurts. Not like the surgery part, just I guess like my whole foot. I don't know. It was weird. It was like pins and needles, but on like a level 10. It was really weird. I haven't felt that before, so I don't really know how to describe it. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go, and I gotta go shampoo carpet. So yeah, fun end to the podcast. Um Welcome to the life of me. Going to the cellar all day is so luxurious. Coming home with my pup that was in the cellar with me all day, to her now puking all over the carpet while I'm doing a podcast. So yeah, fun podcast, guys. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks to everybody who tunes in. I really appreciate it as always. All right. Bye.